Now, we had record warm temperatures this afternoon, but our focus is on this line of storms that is rapidly moving east towards Wisconsin.
Those storms could bring high winds, which is making the Department of Transportation nervous for drivers. We'll tell you who is most at risk and what you need to be aware of.
The News 3 Now is getting an exclusive look inside a COVID unit at one of SSM Health's busiest hospitals, and that's not here in Madison. Tonight, they say they need your help to help them keep up. You're watching News 3 Now at 5. Fog, record-breaking warm temperatures, dangerously high winds, a threat for severe storms, even tornadoes, and a huge temperature swing. That's all in just 24 hours.
Yep, no surprise. It is an alert day for us here in south central Wisconsin, and there are a lot of different things you need to know to be prepared for. Our team is spread out, ready to be sure you have all the information that you need tonight. And we start with meteorologist Dana Fulton. Dana, walk us through the possible scenarios we could see later tonight.
It does look like you guys really nailed it all there. The warm temperatures this afternoon helping to fuel the potential for some really strong thunderstorms later today. We have tornado watches off to the west right now, but this, we've already got word from the Storm Prediction Center, will be expanded to include Wisconsin here in just the next few minutes. This is all due to this quick moving line of storms that has really picked up steam over the last few hours. Starting off to the west of Omaha in central Nebraska, you can see this stretch here over 200 miles in the course of just a few hours. That line traveling almost 100 miles per hour, and there have been several confirmed tornadoes on the ground in Nebraska and now moving into Iowa. That line of tornado warnings there, you can see all of those red octagons or polygons stretching all the way through the state line. This now moving into parts of Iowa and continuing to move in our direction. So this is our time lapse over the next 3 hours, our future track over the next 3 hours. This line starts to get closer to southern Wisconsin, so by the time we're at about 8 p.m., still just off to the west. At that point, we'll have some isolated showers building in, the high winds leading in front of that as well. And once it starts to get closer to our western counties, right around 9 p.m., we'll really see the impact of this line passing through. Our severe weather threat really centered over our western counties today, but it does extend all the way through Dane County into the eastern side of the state. Again, that time block really from 9 p.m. to midnight, and the primary concern with this is high winds and the potential for an isolated tornado mixed in. We do have high wind warnings in effect throughout southern Wisconsin. Again, that tornado watch expanded for us into parts of Wisconsin here over the next few minutes. An alert day is in the forecast for this evening because of the wind concern and the isolated threat for severe thunderstorms to pop up later on this evening. It's been a wild weather day, but things cool down significantly as we look towards the rest of the weekend. We'll take a closer look at the timing for this evening and what's ahead with your 10-day in just a few minutes, Eric.
All right, Dana, thank you. We'll check back in shortly. Those high winds are bringing a real risk of power outages.
We reached out today to MG&E, who says they're keeping a close eye on the weather, and Alliant Energy, who says they are preparing for the worst.
Our top priority is always providing that safe and reliable energy to the customers and communities we serve. Certainly living in Wisconsin, we're no stranger to some unusual weather. And while we hope to never have a major storm impact our customers, our crews are trained and prepared to safely respond to any outages that might occur.
Here's a look at the Alliant Energy outage map. There are no outages now, but you can see their coverage area goes west well into Iowa. So we'll be keeping a close eye on this map as it heads through the state and ours later tonight.
All right, and those winds are also going to make it dangerous for some drivers out there. The Wisconsin Department of Transportation asking people to be especially cautious tonight.
Tahlil Moeddin joins us live to share what they say you should be watching for tonight. Tahlil?
Officials from the DOT say the high winds and incoming severe weather is going to be especially dangerous for people on the road today. They say if you're driving a truck or a semi, you'll want to pay special attention because those vehicles are particularly at risk of tipping over during aggressive wind gusts. This means for other drivers on the road, you'll want to keep your distance and stay vigilant. In addition to that, DOT officials say before getting behind the wheel, it's also important to plan ahead.
Monitor the National Weather Service in the area you're going to be traveling to, through, and from, just to make sure that you know what the situation is going to be as you're going into and out of those areas.
They also say, along with keeping an eye on other cars around you, you'll want to pay attention to any debris that could come your way. That means loose objects like tree branches blowing onto the road. And as always, they do recommend keeping that seatbelt on and keeping that phone down to avoid distractions.
Good advice. Tahalil Moeddin, thank you.
And on top of the storms today, temperatures hit record-breaking highs for the month of December.
But how common are those high temperatures? Meteorologist Austin Kopnitsky joins us now from the weather patio. Austin, you can hear the wind.
Oh, yeah, the winds are really starting to pick up. And to answer your question, extremely uncommon. We usually do not see temperatures that are this mild this late in the season. I actually had to repair one of the Christmas trees behind me that fell down not too long ago. And again, the winds are just going to get stronger. Now, we are looking at record warmth. The old record high for today, it was 52 degrees. Today, we reached 68. So we didn't just beat that record, we absolutely shattered it. Average high temperature is only 32 degrees. Now, to put this in perspective here, a few December statistics. Our warmest day overall on record was 65. Now, that was set here a few years ago. Now we have shattered that record. We, as of right now, have a new warmest day of all time in December, and that day is today. Back to you.
Wow, Austin, thank you. If those high winds cause your home to lose power tonight, you'll need to be sure you have a good way to get weather alerts, because if the power goes out, you might not be able to rely on your television. We encourage you, if you haven't already, to download our Channel 3000 weather app. It will send you an alert if severe weather is heading to your specific location, which could be critical since these storms might hit when you're asleep tonight. You can also grab our Channel 3000 news app while you're there, and that will help you stream any weather alerts if your power goes out. Both are free. They're great resources to stay ahead of the weather. And Dana will be back with a more detailed look at the timing of tonight's storms in just a few minutes.
Well, COVID feels like a thing of the past to you. We invite you to take a look inside a rural hospital fighting to keep its head above water.
Only on News 3 Now, our cameras went inside SSM Health's Monroe Hospital. They serve counties across northern Illinois and southern Wisconsin. Our Naomi Coles saw for herself how their 55 beds simply can't keep up. Naomi?
If you feel like you've seen this story before, you have in the massive hospitals here in Madison, but not once yet in the hospitals serving our rural areas, because nearly 2 years into the pandemic, their crisis is now. There's never once been this many COVID hospitalizations across south central Wisconsin as there is at this moment. And because everyone is full, there's nowhere for staff at Monroe to get relief.
They're tired. They've been working very, very hard. If you look at our census, early on in the pandemic, we never saw the peaks that other bigger cities saw because, again, we transferred a lot of patients that way. We're seeing more patients than we've ever seen during the pandemic related to COVID, and the community doesn't realize that.
They're letting cameras inside their emergency department, their ICU, and their inpatient rooms for the first time during the pandemic. Join me at 6 o'clock tonight and this coming Sunday at 10 to hear from the nurses battling this surge.
Naomi, thank you. The Milton School District says Northside Intermediate will move to virtual learning tomorrow after a significant rise in COVID cases there. In a letter to parents, the Milton District staff said 21 students and 2 staff members recently tested positive and are now isolating. 95 students are also quarantining due to in-school exposure. Another 23 students are quarantining due to exposure outside of school. Officials say 27% of Northside student body were out today. Northside's the only Milton school that'll be moving to virtual learning at this time. U.S. health experts expect the Omicron cases to rise heading into the winter months.
They also say existing booster shots are the best defense against infection. Skylar Henry has more.
CDC data shows the Omicron COVID-19 variant now accounts for 3% of infections in the U.S. and is more transmissible than the Delta variant.
We expect to see the proportion of Omicron cases here in the United States continue to grow in the coming weeks.
CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky says Omicron may, however, account for as high as 13% of cases in some areas, including New York and New Jersey.
Our booster vaccine regimens work. against Omicron.
The president's chief medical advisor, Dr. Anthony Fauci, says there's no need for an Omicron-specific booster at this time, though recent studies show a third dose of the mRNA vaccines, Moderna and Pfizer, provide more protection than the usual two-dose regimen. More than 800,000 Americans have died from COVID, and cases are on the rise. But the White House still insists that there will be no more lockdowns.
We have the tools to fight this virus.
Wednesday, an indoor mask mandate went into effect for parts of California, while New York City has expanded its vaccine requirement to children ages 5 to 11.
Younger individuals have a much more robust immune response than adults, particularly among elderly.
Dr. Fauci says federal officials will continue to look into whether it's necessary to provide booster shots to kids and younger teens who are not yet eligible. Skyler Henry, CBS News, the White House.
CDC officials say they will follow the science when it comes to updating vaccine guidance.
A former Rock County deputy sheriff arrested this week, accused of sexually assaulting multiple children. 34-year-old Gary Huber was arrested in Fort Wayne, Indiana. This was on Monday. Faces multiple charges, including first-degree child sexual assault, repeated sexual assault of a child, and 3 counts of child enticement. Now, court documents suggest Huber assaulted multiple children between 2010 and 2016. He then worked as a deputy sheriff in Rock County from August of 2016 to July of this year. DOJ officials say he resigned to avoid an internal investigation. News 3 Now spoke with Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Kaul about these allegations. This is what he had to say.
These are serious allegations, and our office is involved in investigating some of the most serious crimes in Wisconsin, and child sexual assault is a horrific offense. And so making sure that somebody is held accountable if they commit this offense is vital.
We're learning new information tonight about what led to a deadly crash on the east side of Madison yesterday. Police say a gray sedan was westbound on Cottage Grove Road when the driver ran a red light and hit a black SUV. Officers say the sedan was speeding. Both drivers and a passenger in the SUV were killed in the crash. A passenger in the sedan was hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries. First Lady Dr. Jill Biden is in Milwaukee at this hour, where she'll meet with the victims of the Waukesha Parade tragedy. Second Gentleman Douglas Imhoff and the Surgeon General are also along on this trip. Their first stop will be at Children's Wisconsin, where 18 patients of the Waukesha Parade attack were treated. One child is still being treated there tonight. After that, they'll meet with healthcare workers and children getting the COVID vaccine. And we'll have more on their visit coming up tonight at 6.
And just ahead, could today's bizarre weather be the effects of climate change?
We spoke with state climatology officials to find out. And later, the Red Cross is putting together supplies for storm relief. We'll have details coming up at 6.
Finding the right ingredients for a healthy lifestyle can be tricky. That's why SSM Health and News 3 Now are here to help.
Our Time for Kids Recipe for Health experts use online conversations and on-air reports to answer your health questions.
So tell us, what topics would your family like to hear about? What questions do you have?
Use the handy feedback form on our Time for Kids page to share what matters most to your family's health. And together,
let's take time for kids.
Hey guys.
Hey Dad.
You ready?
This holiday, US Cellular is doing a little something extra to keep everyone connected. Right now, choose any phone from any brand at any of our stores for free. Plus, save big with unlimited data for our best price of the season, just $30 a month. Now that's a deal to cheer about. Feel the locally grown joy from US Cellular, America's locally grown wireless.
Now at Century House. Give $50 or more to charity and receive $400 off stressless Mayfair recliners and office chairs, $200 off any stressless recliner and office chair, and $200 off each stressless sofa seat. Don't wait. It's time for stressless. Donate and save at the Century House, 3420 University Avenue in Madison.
Water is one of nature's most beautiful and life-sustaining resources. At no fault of their own, many Wisconsin utility customers are facing a shutoff to their water service. This leaves them without the one life-giving resource we all take for granted. And those hardest hit are on fixed incomes, juggling multiple temporary jobs, or those who lost full-time jobs in sectors hardest hit by the pandemic. If someone you care about needs a hand up, your local Wisconsin energy and emergency rental assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home and your water, heat, and power on. If you are in danger of losing your water service, call 833-H2O-WISC, 833-426-9472. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
A local food pantry is on a mission to give struggling families a joyful holiday, but they need your help.
Josh Sprider explains what you can do to make winter wishes come true.
And a strong cold front moves into our part of the country. That's tomorrow morning from 4:30 to 7.
News 3 Now's Call for Action team advocates for you, asking the right questions.
You hope to make that right.
And getting results.
They sent a water heater the next day after you made the call.
Call for Action, only on News 3 Now.
And welcome back. So is climate change causing this mix of bizarre winter weather in Wisconsin? News 3 Now spoke with state climatology officials to find out.
They say none of these individual weather events can be directly attributed to climate change, but it certainly plays a role. John Young is Wisconsin's climatology director, and he says the Earth's warming trends increase the probability for severe and extreme weather events. He also says it's difficult to predict how they will impact the state in the future.
Extreme weather events are very rare. Therefore, they are virtually unpredictable in a long-term sense. Number two, they are going to be more likely to occur in certain combinations of a varying climate from one year to the next, and or the climate change trend, which is a very long-term trend and a smooth one. It's going upward.
Young also says records are prime for breaking when overall climate trends pair with the right climate and varying weather.
Well, we know it's been a wild day of weather, so for more of what we can expect in the hours ahead, there's meteorologist Dana Fulton. Dana?
That's just going to keep brewing for us through the rest of the evening, and still windy even overnight once the system does clear through. So we have an alert day in the forecast for us overnight because we have these high winds building in. Sustained wind speeds right now into the 20s. Later tonight, wind gusts will climb up close to 60 miles per hour or even higher for some areas, especially when a strong line of thunderstorms passes through that could bring some severe thunderstorms along with it. This is where this line is right now, stretching through Iowa, already through Nebraska, moving very quickly. Some of these isolated cells within this line have been reported to go over 100 miles per hour. You can see a lot of lightning along with it, some hail in spots, and several confirmed tornadoes mixed in with that line. The tornado watch expanded for us throughout Iowa, not yet expanded into Wisconsin, but the word from the Storm Prediction Center is still that they are going to expand that here over the next few minutes. As we look ahead over the next 3 hours, you still have time to make sure everything outside is brought indoors. Any loose Christmas decorations are tied down and all of your devices are charged. We still have time before this line does get into southern Wisconsin. Over the next 3 hours, really starting to creep in right along the edge of the state, quickly rotating through Iowa and starting to impact the Twin Cities as we get closer to 8 o'clock. Again, sustained wind speeds right now, mid to upper teens, close to 20 miles an hour right along the state line. Later tonight, these wind gusts really pick up. As the line gets closer, you can see towards Dubuque, those wind gusts near 60 miles per hour passing overhead in the mid to upper 50s. And heading into Thursday morning, once the line does clear off to the east, we still have very gusty conditions behind this cold front. Wind gusts close to 40 miles per hour early in the day tomorrow before steadily backing off in the afternoon. Tomorrow will certainly be a colder and calmer day, but still quite windy outside. So as I mentioned, we still have time. You still have a few hours to make sure that you are planned for this line that's going to pass through, because I do think it's going to cause some trouble for some folks coming through overnight. It is going to be colder outside tomorrow. With these high wind events, we do have the risk of losing power, widespread power outages. So make sure that your family has some way to stay warm early tomorrow morning. Some source of heat. If you have your generator, make sure that it it is fueled and ready to go, or perhaps just a handful of extra blankets on hand overnight and for tomorrow morning. Any loose items outside, a lot of Christmas decorations outdoors, make sure they are tied down. Bring them inside if you can. A weather radio is tuned in and turned on, ready to go. If you rely on your phone to get weather alerts, make sure it is fully charged, because if we do have power outages, you're not going to have any way to juice that phone back up. And of course, stay aware and stay tuned. Just being weather aware later on this evening will help keep you and your family safe. The timing for this, again, as we get closer to 8 o'clock, right along the western edge of the state. At that time, temperatures are still in the mid-60s. This line passes through very quickly by midnight, building off to the east. Temperatures will fall during the day tomorrow, and in the afternoon will be in the mid-30s before finally getting a clearing sky and moving back to a more seasonable trend for the weekend. So we're still windy outside for Thursday. Overall, a more closer to average forecast for the rest of the 10-day with more seasonable temperatures, and overall a mostly quiet trend and a drier trend expected. For tomorrow, temperatures will be in the upper 30s. It is still going to be windy outside, but it is going to become sunny for us in the afternoon. We'll get back to some sunshine. Could see a few flurry chances late Friday into Saturday. Another opportunity possibly for some flurries on Monday, but it doesn't look like we're going to have any measurable snow chances building in with this 10-day. And overall, a pretty seasonally cold stretch expected for next week, looking ahead to Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. As far as traffic concerns, right now the roads look good. This is overall good news to not have any accidents reported. A few slowdowns still eastbound and westbound along the Beltline, but that's the usual traffic for this time of day. Downtown Janesville, no major hiccups for us for our Wednesday evening. From the Beltline to Janesville, sitting right at 25 minutes, 16 minutes to get from Middleton to Sauk City. And right now, downtown to Sun Prairie, unfortunately not loading up right now on my map. That's a quick look at traffic.
All right, take a deep breath, Dana. Well done. If you've been putting off a software update, you're going to want to stick around for this next story. There's a new online threat that could make consumers, businesses, and even governments vulnerable to cyber attacks. We'll tell you how to stay ahead of the hackers when we come back.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
MENARDS has a huge selection of batteries, big or small. Don't be left stranded this winter. AC Delco batteries set the standard for performance and reliability and offer an industry-leading warranty. All AC Delco batteries are on sale starting at $89.99 with exchange. Energizer Max batteries provide long-lasting power to all of your devices. 16 packs of AA or AAA batteries are $5.99 after rebate. Plus, give the perfect gift with the MENARDS gift card.
Introducing Oakmont Senior Community in Verona. New luxury apartments for seniors 55 plus. Professionally managed by award-winning Attic Angel Community. Call Brenna today for a tour and reserve your place at Oakmont.
Important healthcare announcement. If people tell you your TV is too loud, or if listening in some environments has become difficult, we are requesting your participation in a special program called the 30-Day Challenge. Hearing Life Hearing Centers are seeking people with hearing difficulties to evaluate a new digital mini hearing aid now being released. To take part in this event, you must call. Please get a pencil and write down the number below. All people with hearing aids or hearing difficulties are wanted to take part in the 30-Day Challenge, evaluating a new high-tech device that sits discreetly behind your ear. This hearing aid is Bluetooth enabled and is rechargeable. All hearing assessments are performed at no charge for those taking part in the challenge. Participants will try these hearing aids for 30 days. Call the number below and take the Hearing Life 30-Day Challenge.
Discover what's in store at Habitat Restore Dane County. You'll find something new every time you visit to keep your project on budget with low price and high quality home supplies. For one-of-a-kind items, shop Habitat Restore Dane County today.
Here's to the holidays. Here's to the casserole queens and Santas who saute. To the turkeys brined in beer, and well, just beer. To the ones who do the most, and the ones who do the least. To the classic traditions, and whatever you call this one. This year, no matter how you holiday, Festival has you covered.
Festival Foods, a Wisconsin tradition since 1946.
Bye, Mom. Sometimes you just gotta do what's in your heart to put some joy out there. When the world needs a little bit of love, give it love. It's about caring for others and for those who care for others, because everyone should know, no matter who they are, just how much they matter. Be happy, be healthy, be kind. Unity Point Health Meritor, a partner of UW Health. Know how much you matter to this world.
A new online threat could make consumers, businesses, even governments vulnerable to cyber attacks.
Courtney Keeley tells us right now security experts are racing to get ahead of the hackers.
Hackers are trying to exploit a newly revealed technical flaw that could give them access to computer systems around the world. It's inside a software tool called Log4j, which is used in a range of devices, including smartwatches, TVs, gaming consoles, printers, smart thermostats, and cloud services.
How widespread is this problem?
So this particular issue is extremely widespread just because it's so common and used in many, many applications.
Mark Ostrowski with the cybersecurity firm Checkpoint says hackers have already tried to exploit the vulnerability to gain access to about half of corporate networks worldwide. Now businesses, tech companies, and governments are implementing patches to block them.
Very quickly, it's been fixed across multiple platforms, as well as cybersecurity companies have created protections against these things.
But it's possible networks have already suffered a breach that went undetected.
This is at a scale that is really historically unprecedented.
CBSN tech reporter Dan Patterson says it's important to avoid clicking on links you don't recognize.
Often hackers use phishing by sending you something that looks real and is actually a malicious link.
And he says it's vital to check for software updates on your devices to make sure you have the latest security protections. Courtney Keeley, CBS News, New York.
We'll have a final check on your first warn forecast when we return.
Guys, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction, Peak Performance for Men has a natural solution that can help you today. That's right. Stop wasting money on pills and inferior technology that hurts and just masks your ED. Fix it for good. The best part, our ED treatment is non-invasive, painless, and you can get back to your natural functionability after just a few short in-office sessions. Call us today and mention this ad, and your initial consultation is free. We are Madison's trusted specialist and only national erectile dysfunction provider. Call Peak Performance for Men today.
This right here is confidence in a bottle. It just gives you such a boost of confidence.
Not only does it change you on the outside, but something in the inside, knowing that you're looking better.
It makes me feel so much more confident than I've ever felt in my life.
I'm Jonathan Greenhut, the CEO of Plexiderm. And when we first released Plexiderm, our mission was to help people reduce the appearance of their wrinkles and under eye bags in minutes with a simple serum. After 2 years of reading thousands of reviews, I realized Plexiderm changes people on the inside. It improves their lives dramatically.
My real true opinion is holy words I can't say on camera.
That was me a couple of years ago when I first tried Plexiderm. I think it just exuded this confidence. Really, there are no other options. Plexiderm is the only thing that works. It was life-changing. It was the best decision I ever made. Still using it.
The Plexiderm effect is more than shrinking under eye bags from view. It's more than getting rid of the appearance of crow's feet. It's more than saying goodbye to the look of those 11 lines between your eyes. The real effect of Plexiderm is self-confidence. It's celebrating this holiday season with friends and family, knowing that you look and feel your best. So join us in 2021 and take the Plexiderm 10-minute challenge and look in the mirror and say, wow, I feel great.
I'm Neela. I'm 61 years old. I'm a personal trainer. It's so important to be in good health and to be fit and take care of yourself. How it makes you feel inside is amazing. And yet, when you look in the mirror, what you see necessarily isn't what you feel inside. Plexiderm, it fixes all that. It makes you feel as good outside as you do inside.
Take the Plexiderm 10-minute challenge and see real results. Guaranteed. Try it for only $14.95 this holiday season at plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
This This year, don't just get ready, get holiday ready. And the only place to start is at your local Ford dealer. Get the Ford SUV that's perfect for your family's holiday traditions. Ford Explorer, Escape, or Bronco Sport with our best offers of the season. Inventory is arriving daily, so see your Ford dealer today and get holiday ready. Now get a Ford Explorer with 0% financing for 60 months plus $500 bonus cash. Only at your local Ford dealer.
Coming up, it is a busy news day. The crisis on college campuses, Cornell and Princeton canceling in-person classes because of COVID outbreaks, plus why some businesses are closing their doors today. And we're watching the severe weather threat as more than 100 million Americans are under high wind warnings tonight. And the Santa Claus girls bringing cheer to children in need. That's all coming up here on the CBS Evening News.
All right, let's get back to Dana for a final check of the forecast.
That tornado watch just expanded to include southwestern Wisconsin until 10 o'clock. The line's still off to the west, but something we're going to be keeping a very close eye on through the rest of the evening. We'll have updates as conditions warrant.
Yeah, we'll be back with more updates in 30 minutes on News 3 Now at 6. CBS Evening News coming your way next. Stay tuned.